Shalom and good evening. This is TV7 Israel News broadcasting to you from Jerusalem. And in today's top stories, Israel's firefighting services announces the end of its nationwide operation after 8 days of battling wildfires in central and northern Israel. Prime Minister Netanyahu reiterates his call to U.S. President Barack Obama not to change Washington's position in the UN Security Council during his remaining time in office regarding the peace negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The Syrian army, together with its allies, continues to advance on the rebel-held eastern part of Aleppo, announcing the capture of significant districts of the city. Israel's firefighting services announced the end of its nationwide operation after 8 days of battling wildfires in central and northern Israel. According to a statement, firefighters fought 90 fires in 1,773 locations, 39 of which were termed major and required 10 or more crews. Israeli officials said that the rehabilitation of the natural reserve parks and infrastructures damaged by the wildfires would likely continue for as much as 30 years, as hundreds of apartments have been rendered uninhabitable in the aftermath of the disasters, particularly in the North Israeli city of Haifa. The Jewish National Fund estimates that overall 11,000 hectares of forests were incinerated by the fires, with 7,500 hectares of the 11,000 were in the Jerusalem hills alone. Prime Minister Netanyahu, during remarks he made at a memorial ceremony for those who fell in the Sinai military campaign of 1956, declared that Israel will rebuild the houses and rehabilitate the forests 10 times fold.
את הבתים שנשרפו נקים מחדש, את היערות שהוצתו ביד זדונית נשקם, במקום כל עץ שהפך שחור, ילבלבו 10 עצים ירוקים.
The Israel police is currently holding 30 people on suspicion of arson or incitement to arson, but refuses to release details regarding the nature of the allegations on 13 of them. 20 of those arrested are Israeli Arabs. Out of the over 90 fires that broke out in the past week, the police said it suspects 40 to be as a result of arson. Now to a related matter, Prime Minister Netanyahu revealed that he held a phone conversation with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas to thank the Palestinian leader for assisting Israel in battling the wildfires that raged across the country. Netanyahu said that he urged Abbas during their conversation to join him in extinguishing fires rather than lighting them, and called him to march together toward a peaceful solution to the decades-old conflict between the two people.
אני הרמתי טלפון לפני ימים אחדים לאבו מאזן ואמרתי לו זה הדבר הנכון לעשות ואני מעריך את זה. בואו לא נדליק שריפות, בואו נחבר אותם ובואו נצעד יחד לשלום. אבל אני יודע ואתם יודעים שאת השלום משיגים קודם כל על ידי עוצמתה של מדינת ישראל. שלום עושים עם החזק, החלש לא שורד באזורנו.
Prime Minister Netanyahu also took the opportunity to once again declare that there is no greater ally to the Jewish state within the international community than the United States of America, and reiterated his call to President Barack Obama not to change Washington's position in the United Nations Security Council during his remaining term in office, emphasizing that peace can only be achieved through direct negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians.
ואני רוצה להגיד לכם, אנחנו נמצאים כרגע בפריחה בינלאומית אדירה, עם המעצמות הגדולות בעולם, עם מדינות אסיה, עם מדינות אפריקה, עם מדינות אמריקה הלטינית, אבל אבן הראשה של מערכות היחסים שלנו, זו הברית האיתנה עם ארצות הברית, שנשענת בראש ובראשונה על התמיכה ההולכת וגוברת של העם האמריקני, של הציבור האמריקני, עם מדינת ישראל, ואנחנו מלאי הערכה ומלאי תודה לתמיכה הזאת. אני אף פעם לא שוכח את זה. ולכן אני גם מוקיר ומעריך את ההסכם שעשינו לאחרונה עם נשיא ארצות הברית, ברק אובמה, ואנוכי, חתמנו על מזכר תמיכה של סיוע ביטחוני למדינת ישראל. ואני מצפה שגם בשלהי כהונתו הנשיא אובמה יעמוד באמירתו מ-2010 שהדרך להשגת שלום איננה עוברת דרך החלטות במועצת הביטחון, אלא במשא ומתן ישיר עם הפלסטינים, כפי שהייתה עמדת ארצות הברית במהלך השנים.
The comments by the Israeli leader came following reports that the U.S. President Barack Obama is considering to act in the UN Security Council to advance a framework for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict after senior Israeli officials declared that the era of a Palestinian state is over after the Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump won the election, prompting a series of moves by far-right lawmakers seeking to annex lands in the West Bank that the Palestinian leadership demands will be part of any future Palestinian state. Now to the ongoing conflict in Israel's northern neighbor, where the Syrian army, together with its allies, continue to advance on the rebel-held eastern part of Aleppo, announcing the capture of significant districts of the city in an accelerated attack that threatens to crush the opposition in its most important urban stronghold. Two rebel officials said the insurgents, facing fierce bombardment and ground attacks, had withdrawn from the northern part of eastern Aleppo to a more defensible front line along a big highway after losses that threatened to split their besieged enclave. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said the northern portion of eastern Aleppo, lost by the rebels, amounted to more than a third of the territory they had held, calling it the biggest defeat for the opposition in Aleppo since 2012. The Syrian army advance has made it possible for thousands of residents to flee the rebel-held area. Civilians expressed relief after fleeing the eastern parts, saying rebels that fight alongside al-Qaeda-linked jihadists tried to bar them from leaving.
كنا مخنوقين ما بيخلونا نطلع كل ما نجي نطلع بيقولوا عننا نحن شبيحة.
الحمد لله جينا هون الحمد لله بخير. كنا عايشين كله بزل وجينا احنا كنا على الطريق صار يضرب علينا رصاص. والحمد لله لما جينا هون وارتحنا. ألف الحمد لله والله يحيي الجيش.
Meanwhile, the United Nations World Food Program has distributed all of its food supplies in eastern Aleppo. Speaking to reporters during a media tour of a UN transportation hub in the border town of Reyhanli, the world body's deputy humanitarian coordinator for Syria stressed that more humanitarian aid must be delivered to East Aleppo as soon as possible, considering the freezing winter conditions setting in.
In East Aleppo, we've distributed the last World Food Program food, so there's no more food from WFP in East Aleppo. It's all been distributed. There's no more humanitarian food left in East Aleppo. So that's why it's very important that we try and get assistance in there as soon as possible, whether it's from the cross-border operation or whether it's from our colleagues in Damascus who send it from West Aleppo.
Part of the area lost by the rebels was taken over by a US-backed Kurdish militia from another part of Aleppo in what rebels described as an agreed handover, a rare example of cooperation between groups that have fought each other during the 5.5-year conflict. Thank you for watching us. You can also watch us at TV7israelnews.com or TV7.fi. For any comments, please send your emails to israelnews@tv7.fi. For more updates from Israel and the region, please join our Facebook page at TV7 Israel News. Praying for the peace of Israel and the peace of Jerusalem. Jonathan Hassan of Erev Tov, and we will see you again tomorrow at the same time.
In order to donate to TV7 Israel News, please follow these simple steps. First, press the Donate logo, located at the bottom left side of TV7 Israel News Facebook page, or on the Donate tab at the head of the page. Then insert the amount you'd like to donate, and fill in your credit card information. Just like this. And press Review Donation and continue. After reviewing your donation details, please press Donate to finalize your donation. That's it! Your donation is now complete, and an email with your donation details has been sent to your email address. You can also print your donation receipt by pressing the link here. Thank you for supporting TV7 Israel News.